So the conservative leader is wearing more makeup than I am today, says Freeland in response to Polyev asking if liberals plan to legalize drugs again after the next election. So yeah, they were forced to unlegalize hard drugs in British Columbia because British Columbia, far left NDP government asked that they could, after having an order of magnitude greater number of overdose deaths, and of course all the attendant crime and everything that comes along with it, after 20 years of so-called harm reduction, thought that, well, it's not going well, so I guess the only thing we can do is be more insane. So they requested from Trudeau to legalize hard drugs, like I'm talking heroin, crack, meth, that sort of thing. In British Columbia, of course, the results were terrible. They had to then request that they unlegalize them in BC again. And but, I mean, failing terribly has never stopped the Liberal government.
Think that you pay down debt by borrowing more, that you stop inflation by printing money, and that you fight the drug overdose crisis by legalizing hard drugs. So at least they're consistent in their irrationality, Mr. Speaker. But now they've been forced to backtrack right before the election on their legalization of hard drugs because Canadians are revolting against the policy. Today we have a motion that will be voted in the House to permanently ban hard drugs. Will this government vote for that motion, or will they admit that they plan to legalize drugs again after the next election?
Mr. Speaker, the Conservative leader is wearing more makeup than I am today. Now, I think
That's her response. That's her response. The country is falling apart. I mean, it doesn't look like he's wearing any makeup to me. I don't get what her point is there. It's just this weird, embarrassing, like what is the goal there? Is that supposed to make her relatable to anybody? The weird little finance Oompa Loompa? It's bizarre. It just feels like they must have such contempt for the voters. And I guess, why wouldn't they, after being, reelected 3 times? I guess you can hardly blame them for having contempt, I guess, at this point. But I don't think this is going to serve them next time around. Okay, so this is another Chrystia Freeland moment here, where, again, it's so pathetic. They just have the same magic spell that they keep trying over and over and over again. Everything's racist. Everything's white supremacy. Whatever. Everybody's a bigot. It's the magic spell that's supposed to, and in the past, it was very effective. It's shrouding their opponents' minds with confusion and fear. So they just kind of look down and go, okay, well, whatever. I don't want to be whatever it is you called me. That magic spell is breaking. It's broken, in fact. For all of the sane people, it's broken. Here's a great example.
This government is supposed to be in the business of protecting children, not killing them with exposure and access to hard drugs. The RCMP has confirmed that legal hard drugs are being sold on the black market. In Abbotsford, the Soccer Association has to regularly sweep the needles for pitch. The Legion and many businesses in Mission have to deal with crack smoke every day. When will this government do the right thing and cancel their ideologically extreme experiment to legalize hard drugs and start protecting BC's children?
Okay, so he's asking about their reckless, heedless insanity around hard drugs, the Trudeau government, all right? And let's see what Chrystia Freeland, the Deputy Prime Minister, Finance Minister, has to say about this. Will it be something that's even related to this? Well, let's find out.
Mr. Speaker, as a mother of 3, including teenagers, I care so much about Canada and Canadians, and I agree, opioid addiction is a tragedy. It is a public health tragedy, and it is a public safety tragedy. But let me tell you what is putting the public safety of all Canadians at risk. Consorting with white supremacists and misogynists. That is a public safety risk. The Conservatives have an opportunity today to disavow that. They should do it.
So their insane policies killed a bunch of people, but it's white supremacy is the real problem, sure. It's all they've got. They literally have nothing else. And it worked for them for 3 elections. It ain't going to work again. That is not going to fly in Canada now. Not today. People have woken up. People have found that line where it's too much. They found that line where they're willing to say, you know what? I've never considered myself a conservative, but I don't want crazy. So I'll take the thing that's not crazy. Because that is really so much what we see these days, isn't it? That it's not left-right anymore. It's crazy versus sane. It's crazy versus common sense. I mean, how does this, like what she just did there, let's replay that.
But let me tell you what is putting the public safety of all Canadians at risk. Consorting with white supremacists and misogynists.
Consorting with the white supremacists and misogynists. So it's just a lie, for one thing, right? But this is crazy. That's a crazy response, right? So if you've woken up and the spell is broken on you, right, and just throwing out accusations doesn't work anymore, this is crazy. You see this and you go, is she out of her fucking mind? Is she a complete nut bar? Why would she think that would work? It's a non sequitur. And it has been a non sequitur. These accusations have been non sequiturs forever, but they used to have some power and work. If you're not in that world anymore where that shit matters to you or you believe it, you see this and you go, that's crazy. Why would she think she could do that? Why would she think she could just veer off into this non sequitur that has nothing to do with the conversation, talking about a real problem of drug overdoses and drug deaths? Rogue Thought says, the racism well is running dry. It is. And Antipop says, tougher to do the race thing in Canada. Well, I mean, that was Trudeau's entire political career, was virtue signaling around race and gender issues, right? And just basically insisting that Canada is this awful bigoted place that it's not actually. How we managed to win 3 times on that, I have no idea. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. Please like, share, and subscribe. Sharing really helps me out. I thank you for that. I will see you next time.